Hello and welcome. We have made it to our 33rd state, which happens to be Oregon, and behind me is the bluest water I've ever witnessed in my entire life. We are at Crater Lake. So we did research this area before coming in, and it did say that most of the roads are closed right now, but we were like, well, let's just play our luck. Maybe it'll be open when we get here. But they are not open, which is really sad. So if you look at the map right here, this is the only road that's open at the moment, and all of this doesn't open until the summertime. And since we are at the very end of May, we thought it would be open, but unfortunately they are not. So we're kind of stuck right here at the moment, but I think we're going to walk along the rim of the trail over to the Watchman Overlook, and that way we can see a little bit more of the lake and hopefully do a trail that we really wanted to do.
I've got too much to do. I don't have time for you. You're either in or out.
So the rim trail had way too much snow and ice, so we decided to move over to the road, and it's a lot smoother. Also, I can see where we're heading, right up there.
You wanna shake my hand. Is that the best we can do? I'm better made for leaving. When I can't and you won't understand. No one gets to understand me.
I have snow in my ear. You ready? 2. Woo! Just taking a break in the middle of the road.
I used to know your name. Now you're a stranger to me.
So up there where you see that little building, that's where we were supposed to be hiking to. But as you can also see, there are several feet of snow covering the trail, so we will not be able to do it this time.
So 7,700 years ago, there was a massive eruption where there was a 12,000 foot mountain that used to be where Crater Lake is. And this giant eruption actually completely destroyed the mountain and created this giant crater where over the next 300 to 400 years there were other smaller eruptions that created a lava flow that kind of sealed the floor of what is now Crater Lake. And then as snow accumulated year after year, it is what created like this super pure water that we see here in the lake. And one of the things that I really love that I found is if you look off in the distance, you can see this part of the cliff that actually connects with what the ridgeline of Mount Mazama, which was the original mountain, what it would have been like. So you can kind of start to form what it would have looked like before this crater formed. And also in the middle of this giant crater, which used to be a volcano, is another volcano that formed, and it actually created this island in the center of Crater Lake. And another cool thing is if you come in the summer, you can actually take a boat to the little island and you can hike to the top of the volcano.
So we've now backed our van into a spot that overlooks the lake, and we're gonna make some dinner here and hopefully catch sunset with a beautiful view. So this evening, the cookbook journey continues. I am down to just 4 recipes left that I need to photograph, and tonight we are going to do the Greek Euro wraps with homemade tzatziki. Measuring cups will literally be the death of me. Oh my gosh. Got all the goodies here. And then I also have the meat, tzatziki, All right, let's serve up. After dinner, we went outside and the moon was absolutely ginormous. And then I remember that my mom actually texted me last night saying that yesterday was the super moon. And so we went outside today and it's still huge and we're really happy that we got to see that. But now we're going to head out of the park and go to our free camping spot.
So we just made it to our camp spot for the night, and we were actually having a very interesting conversation on the way over here.
Yes, so that leads us to part 2 of Slumber Party Van Talks with Chad and Claire, your 2 favorite people. Okay, so we're driving through the forest. It's really dark. And recently I did a Q&A on my Instagram, and there are lots of questions that were asking if we're ever scared sleeping in the woods, basically.
In the forest.
Yeah. And I was saying like, oh, no, like I feel so safe, especially since like we're usually far away from people. You won't hear a knock, and so like I'm not as scared of animals as I am with people. And then I was like, wait a second. If I heard a knock in the middle of the woods and like we didn't see anyone going there and I just heard it like while I'm sleeping, I would just have to call van life quits, you know?
Yeah.
That's
be so
absolutely
creepy.
Horrifying.
Yeah. And then I came up with a scenario where it's like, what if you're like, hello, who is it? And they don't respond.
Yeah.
And like you just hear like,
oh my
and you're
gosh.
sleeping or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was bringing up the conversation that we're actually heading into like serial killer territory, heading to, what is it, the Puget Sound region, where there's apparently more serial killers than, I don't know if it's anywhere in the world or the US, somewhere, something like that. Glad we have each other, at least.
Yeah, I'll fight them off.
Yeah.
But anyways, tomorrow we actually won't be going back to Crater Lake because we literally did everything that you really can do right now in the park. And so we're going to head up north towards Umpqua, and hopefully we can go enjoy some hot springs tomorrow. So until then, good night. Good morning, guys. Today we were greeted with the very typical and well-known weather of the Northwest. It's a little bit rainy, a little bit foggy, a little bit gloomy, but it feels really nice, honestly, because we haven't hit many rainy days in the van, and it feels kind of cozy right now. And that might also be because we just made some chicken soup, and our entire van just smells like Thanksgiving, and it's wonderful. So we are going to quickly eat, and then we're going to head over to the hot springs. We just finished lunch, and we forgot to mention that Chad has received his biannual blessing of a sty.
Yes, my left eye. I woke up this morning with a sty. And anytime I get a sty, it makes my eye all puffy, and it's just super annoying.
So we just made it to Umpqua Hot Springs, and it's a Thursday and it's pretty crowded, but that does make sense because it's apparently very visited by lots of people, but I'm excited to check it out.
In the quiet and in the storm.
So in order to get to Umpqua Hot Spring, you actually have to hike about 0.8 miles, but it's actually pretty steep. How you doing, Claire?
I didn't take an iron pill last night.
I will never stop loving you. Every path that we might find, light of day or black of night, anywhere life takes us to, I will never stop loving you.
right, so let's talk about Umpqua Hot Springs. So we've been to a number of hot springs around the US, but this one was definitely very special. So first of all, there are a number of different pools and they're all cascading off of a hillside. And if that isn't picturesque enough, the water inside of these pools is kind of like a hazy light blue and you're completely surrounded by dense forest. And it's so incredibly green because of course we are in Oregon.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts about the hot springs was all the pools feed into each other. So if one is too hot, you just go to one that's lower on the hillside. And between the pools are these like little river canyons is what I'd call them. And it's what flows the water between the pools.
Overall, it's just a very beautiful place, definitely very picture worthy. And we're really glad that we got to go. It was recommended by so many people. So if you ever are in the Oregon area, I think we would definitely recommend it as well. So we have now found a free parking spot in the Umpqua National Forest, which was just about 10 minutes from the Umpqua Hot Springs, and we are going to camp here overnight.
So this is our free parking spot for the night. You can see a whole mountainside over there. There's a fire ring. So instead of doing a cooking montage tonight, I thought I would take the time to show you guys how to make a fire in case you guys don't know. I'm sure that many of you guys already know, but there are 2 ways to make a fire, and the first one is a teepee, which I'll show you now. Also, anytime that you make a fire, you want to start with the smallest sticks because those are very important before you start adding on the bigger ones. So that's basically what a teepee fire looks like. You definitely want to add in a lot more smaller sticks, but I wanted to just give you a general idea before I start making the second one, which is kind of like a log cabin style.
You are the fire, warm in my night. With you I'll stay till the morning light.
So that's the general idea for a log cabin style. I do believe that you're supposed to have bigger logs on the bottom and then you kind of build up to smaller sticks on the top. But I could also be wrong, so if you do know the proper way, definitely let me know. And if you know any other ways to build a fire, also let me know, because that would be really cool. So now that I finished the fire, we're drying some clothes. Claire, how is dinner going?
Dinner's going well. How is your little fire tutorial?
We'll find out. I think it was good. So what are we having for tonight?
Well, tonight we are doing the last actual meal that's in my cookbook that we have to photograph, and we are having the home-style chili. My chili is officially done.
Yay!
Yahoo!
I call home, this is where I call home. Your love is like no other. Your love is where I feel alive. My safety and my shelter. Your love is my home.
So this evening we spent some time out by the fire, and I was uploading on my Instagram story, and Chad was tending to the YouTube comments as he does. And it was really funny. He actually got a very special comment tonight.
I was going through the comments. They're really nice. I love reading all the nice comments. But then I read one that was like, "Ooh, Chad's Calvin Klein underwear," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And it was on one of her older videos. So then I was very intrigued because I don't remember ever showing off my underwear. So then we clicked on the video and we just ended up watching the entire thing. So it's actually our 7th vlog. It's very awkward.
Yeah, it's hilarious because we never go back and watch any of our videos. Like, there's no reason to. But we did for this one, and in this specific vlog, we were passing through Delaware, which was a very difficult state for us to navigate. But it was hilarious because we were so awkward in front of the camera. It was only our 7th video that we've ever posted on the road trip, at least. Yeah. And, like, it was poor quality, like, absolutely horrible.
Okay.
Like, it would not have you hooked, for sure.
Yeah, it was just really fun to watch. It was nice to know how far we've come with these videos.
Yeah, and we were just watching through the entire thing, and we're like, where does the underwear come in? And it wasn't until the very, very end. We'd just gotten our Philly cheesesteaks because we had also gone into Pennsylvania at that point. And
it was raining, so I was soaked.
Yeah, we were soaking wet, and then I'm panning over the cheesesteaks, and then all of a sudden there's just like a half-naked Chad in the back, and we just decided to include that in the video, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, no filter there. Yeah.
I just can't believe how far we've come in being comfortable in front of the camera. If you've been watching since the East Coast, thank you for your dedication and for honestly watching those videos, because I mean, they're not as good as the ones now, and we really appreciate that.
Well, Umpqua Hot Springs was incredible today. I think we're going to head to bed, and we'll see you guys in the morning.
Good night. Good morning, guys. Today we are blessed with some really beautiful weather. Like, if you were to imagine the perfect spring day, that is what we are having right now, and it's completely blue skies, sunny outside. And I was thinking, like, since the weather is so perfect, there's no wind, it might actually be the perfect time to make my no yeast garlic naan. I was going to make it a little bit later, but because the weather is just being so kind to us today, I decided why not do it now and show you guys how I'm going to make these garlic naans. So the first thing I'm doing is making the garlic oil for the naan, and then we'll get to making the dough. Since I didn't do too well with the measuring cup and the yogurt last time, I'm going to eyeball it based off of what I see here. And it should be pretty accurate. Alright, should we wipe this table off so I can use it as a...
Yes.
Alright, we have thoroughly wiped down this table, so now I can use it as a nice workspace. Alrighty, so this is my dough. Alright, so now I can break it up into two parts so that we each get one. Do you want a really big one or do you want two small ones, Chad?
Two small ones.
Oh. Okay, then I'm gonna break it into 4 pieces. We don't have a rolling pin. My fingers will just have to do. So I think that just about concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. We will actually be in Oregon for a little bit longer. So if you would like to follow along on our journey, do hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Too much to do. I don't have time for you. You're either in or out. I'm not slowing down since I've been flying high. No one looks in my eye. You wanna shake my hand? Is that